I used to think the people who could walk up to anyone, anywhere, anytime were just built differently. Like they got some confidence gene I didn't. Like they never felt that stomach drop, that internal voice that says, "Wait, not yet. Maybe tomorrow." Me sitting on the sidelines watching someone else talk to the person I wanted to talk to. I told myself it was just personality, just who I was. That was the most expensive lie I ever believed, because the research doesn't say confidence is something you have. It says confidence is something you do. And approaching someone you like isn't a talent. It's a skill with specific learnable steps that the human brain responds to every single time. Here's what actually works. Trick 1. Warm the interaction before it starts. Here's something I never thought about until I read the research behind it. Cold approaches fail more often than warm ones, not because of what you say, because of how jarring it feels to the other person's brain to go from zero to full social engagement with a stranger in 1 second flat. Psychologists call this social priming, and the principle is simple. A small low-stakes interaction before the real one changes everything. Make brief eye contact and smile before you approach. Acknowledge them in a small way first. Let their brain register you as a safe presence before you say a single meaningful word. Me doing this turned approaches from interruptions into continuations, because by the time I actually walked over, I wasn't a stranger anymore. I was already someone they'd noticed. And that one tiny difference changes the entire emotional climate of the first 30 seconds. Trick 2. Name your nervousness out loud. This one sounds backwards, I know. Myself, I spent years trying to hide every trace of anxiety before an approach. Act cool, look unbothered, give nothing away. And it made everything worse, because the effort of hiding it consumed the mental bandwidth I needed to actually be present in the conversation. There's a psychological principle called anxiety reappraisal. And what research from Harvard shows is that naming what you're feeling, actually saying it out loud, reduces its physiological grip almost immediately. Something like, "I'll be honest, I almost talked myself out of coming over here," does something remarkable. It disarms the situation. It makes you instantly human. It makes them feel chosen rather than targeted. And people who make other people feel chosen become immediately, almost irrationally attractive every single time. Trick 3. Lead with curiosity, not impression. I spent years approaching people trying to be impressive. And I cringe thinking about it now, because the energy of trying to impress someone is something they feel before you've finished your first sentence. It's slightly performative, slightly tense, and it puts pressure on the interaction that kills it before it breathes. The complete opposite of that is curiosity. Genuine, unhurried curiosity about who this person actually is. Psychologists have found that people who ask questions from a place of real interest, not to fill silence, not to seem engaged, but because they actually want to know, are consistently rated as more attractive and more intelligent than people who lead with statements about themselves. Me shifting from, "Let me show you who I am," to, "I actually want to know who you are," changed the entire texture of every first conversation I had. Because people don't fall for impressive. They fall for interested. Trick 4. Use their name once. Simple, underused, almost unfairly effective. Studies in social psychology consistently show that hearing your own name activates a deeply personal response in the brain. One that signals recognition, safety, and connection. It's one of the most powerful sounds in any language to the person it belongs to. So once you get their name, use it once naturally. Not repeatedly, which crosses into uncomfortable territory fast. Just once woven into something real. That's actually a great point. Name. That single moment creates a level of personal connection that most people never manufacture in an entire first conversation. Final truth. Here's the truth I needed someone to tell me years ago. The approach is not the scary part. The regret is the scary part. The version of you that walks away without saying anything and replays it for days, that's the version that actually hurts. The conversation itself, it lasts a few minutes. It's just two people talking. And the worst realistic outcome is a polite exchange that goes nowhere. But the best outcome changes everything. Me choosing to say something instead of walking away has led to some of the most meaningful connections in my life. And it started with one step, one sentence, one moment of deciding that the other person was worth the 30 seconds of discomfort it took to reach them. Subscribe. More of this coming every week.